Better days and better nights as we stand and unite. We're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we wanna see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling, being beneath. What a beautiful moment, and a sight I can't wait to see. Even if I miss it, at least I was a part of the mission, changing lives of men, women, and children. All glory goes to He that causes us all to be. And if they're thinking we can, we show them that just as long as we stand, a monument. We the people can't be broken as long as we stay focused. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake of us. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. I see my people rising, yeah.
Toda Rabah. Wow, 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 wow. This is why I be needing people to be on here. Toda Rabah, Chief Prince. Man, I'm glad I'm only on the first chapter. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try to go through it. I'm not going to repeat everything that was said. We are in Jeremiah chapter 23. Goodness gracious. All that speaking. Can you all hear me now? Can you all hear me now? Wow. That was about 15 minutes of talking. Can you all hear me? Can I get some ones in the chat? All right, cool. All right, so you all, did the Most High really tell you that, right? Did the Most High speak to you? What was the point of me bringing this out in Jeremiah 23? A lot of people today, we say that the Most High told us this. The Most High spoke to us. What was asked to be today by an individual, and I don't knock that individual for saying this, but I did say this has become a part of our culture, that the Most High, or people say God, has told me this, or the Spirit has told me this. But does that align with Scripture and our customs and our understanding historically? Does that align with the prophets and the righteous men and or women of the Supreme King? Does that align? Is your life aligning with it? Do we see on a large scale consistently an individual that his life or her life was not pleasing to the Most High, and they was given a word to the people? Do we see that consistently? We can probably see that a couple times maybe. And those individuals had to be obedient completely in what it is they were doing as well at that particular moment. But today, everybody is saying that the Most High told me this. Most people, most so-called black people, most people in Bnei Yisrael is saying that the Spirit told me this. So I'm not going to go over Jeremiah again. You all read Jeremiah chapter 23, verses 16 through 17, 21 through 22, and 25 through 32. We're going to go ahead and go into Ezekiel. I'm not going to go back over it. Ezekiel chapter 13. I'm going to read verses 1 through 9. All right. Then the word of the Supreme King came to me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel. So again, these prophets can be those that are self-proclaimed, that just love to say that the Most High said this to gain an audience, right? To get something out of them. Or it could be actual prophets that were prophets and just went left. But he says, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel who prophesy, and say to those who prophesy from their own inspiration, listen to the word of the Supreme King Yah. You have people that are really just speaking because they're inspired to bring something out due to what had happened to them, what was just on the forefront of their mind, right? Whether negative or positive, just wanted to condemn somebody, just wanted people to see them post about things, or get before the people and teach things, right? Inspiration. What can inspire the people instead of correcting the people because we're afraid of the people. That's what we're seeing. That's what's happening. But he said, listen to the word of the Supreme King Yah. This is what the Supreme King Elohim says, woe to the foolish prophets who are following their own spirit and have seen nothing. The Spirit told me. What spirit are you following? Following their own spirit. We're going to read something in 1 Kings in a minute. But this is what the Supreme King Elohim says. Woe to the foolish prophets who are following their own spirit and have seen nothing. You haven't seen anything. In order to see something, or know something, you got to experience something. And most times to experience something, you have to be directed in that area, whether it's for the good or for the bad. A lot of things that we experience is due to somebody bringing it before us, asking us to be a part of it, seeing something that intrigued us, put us in that space of wanting to go that direction. But you haven't seen the Supreme King Yah if you have not been obedient to the word that was given prior to you. If we have not been obedient, if we have not been consistent, if we have not been faithful, how can we have seen anything? How can we have heard anything if we can't even walk consistently today? How can we be leaders and teachers if we have not even changed our minds, changed our life in a direction that we know we should be going? I'm not saying people can't change from what they were at. I don't think I have in the scriptures that I'm going to present this evening when the prophet lied to the man of Elohim and said that the Most High said this. And it caused the man of Elohim to be unalived. The Most High utilized that same prophet that lied to tell him that he was about to be unalived. Be careful who you listen to that say the Most High told me this. Be careful who you listen to that say the Spirit told me, brother. The Spirit told me, sister. You know what the Most High said through Ezekiel? This is what the Supreme King Elohim says. Woe to the foolish prophets who are following their own spirit and have seen nothing. Israel, your prophets have been like jackals among ruins. Again, you all, this is not to say do not listen to leaders, righteous ones. I'm not saying this to say do not listen to teachers, righteous ones. I'm not saying don't listen to who may be prophets today in 2026. Righteous ones that actually live how they're supposed to be living. And it will be revealed if they're that. But let's keep going. You have not gone up into the breaches, nor did you build up a stone wall around the house of Israel to stand in the battle on the day of the Supreme King Yah. How can we attach that to today? How can we utilize Ezekiel 13 and 15 and make it make sense today for these leaders today, for these teachers today? You ain't went into the breaches. We say this all the time, right? We use this, being into the breaches. We use this. A lot of teachers use this. A lot of leaders use this. Nor did you build up a stone wall around the house of Israel. Protecting. How do you protect? We read in Jeremiah 23 about allowing evil to be amongst the people. You are allowing people within your own assembly to continue in wickedness, to continue to be disobedient on what you know we're supposed to be doing. I'm not saying kick people out, be harsh. I got to say that again because I already said that when the volume wasn't working. I'm not saying that. We should know how to approach people. We should know how to be there for them. We should understand who is sincere, who's trying to be faithful. But for those that are truly trying to go against it, they should not be amongst you because they're harming those who you are helping and shepherding. If you are allowing them around you and your assembly or the people that you're congregating with, you are not being a good leader. You are not being a good leader. I stand on this. And I hope it provokes thought. I hope it provokes change for those who have assemblies. You're moving in with your own spirit. That's what it said up here, right? Your own inspiration. What's your goals? To make the numbers go up? Have more people a part of the assembly? Is that your goal, to reach as many people as possible? Yes, you should be. But there should be a wall or a fence protecting those who you're already supposed to be shepherding, helping, building, bringing them closer to the Most High. How can you bring them closer to the Most High if you're allowing people to come in and tear it down? This is what Ezekiel is saying. This is what most of the prophets are saying through the Most High. This is what the Most High is saying, has been saying from the royal Torah law, but we will not operate within it. We will not lead or go down that direction today in 2026 because we don't believe we can. We are letting people be amongst us that have no desire to truly walk the way that we're supposed to walk. But the numbers is what matters. Let's keep reading. We got to get through this. I'm taking a long time. We got a few places to go. Ezekiel 13:6. They see deceit and lying divination, right? Those who are saying the Supreme King declares, he told me, the Most High spoke to me. When the Most High has not sent them, yet they wait for the fulfillment of their word, what they're saying. And people are just listening to them. The heart is deceitful above all things. That is what people use. What type of heart? Because not all hearts. It doesn't say all hearts. It says the heart is deceitful. Well, that sounds absolute. We read in Jeremiah 23 what kind of heart it was talking about. Proverbs talks about the specific heart that it's talking about. It's letting us know right here. Did you not see a false vision and tell a lying divination when you said that the Supreme King declares, but it is not who have spoken? Therefore, this is what the Supreme King says. Because you have spoken deceit and have seen a lie, therefore, behold, I am against you. Are we afraid of the Most High? Are we reverencing the Most High? Are we afraid to have the Most High against us? I don't believe it today. I don't believe many of us are looking at it like that. We're so free today. We're not careful with our words. We don't care to be careful with our words. More specifically, careful for what we saying that the Supreme King Yah is telling people or telling us. We should make sure we see examples of this through Moshe. Oh, he was always making sure, even when it was given to him on what to do. That doesn't mean that's what you have to do all the time. I'm not saying that, because when you were mature, Moshe matured. He wasn't the same Moses or Moshe that he was at the end of his, what people say, ministry from the beginning. He wasn't. He was stronger. He was there. Although we know what took place with him at the end, but all the way until that point, you saw the growth. You saw the authority that he moved in because he knew who was speaking to him. We see that with Shemuel. We're going to read that in a minute. Verse 9. So my hand will be against the prophets who see false visions and utter lying divinations. Read it again. So my hand will be against the prophets. Because when you say that the Most High told me, when you say the Spirit told me, you have at that point said that the Most High is speaking. And if you're wrong, my hand will be against the prophets who see visions and utter lying divinations. They will have no place in the council of my people, nor will they be written down in the register of the house of Bnei Israel, nor will they enter the land of Israel, so that you may know that I am the Supreme King. Wait a minute. So that you may know. Wait. So the way to know that the Most High is the Most High is by not allowing deceitful individuals amongst his people. Be ye set apart as I am set apart. The way to know that the Most High is who he says he is by not allowing wickedness, deceitfulness, none of that amongst his land and or people when that time comes. We should be mimicking that today. Well, we're supposed to be love. It's supposed to be love. This is a way of loving. Everyone does not belong. Just because of who we are does not mean that everyone belongs. And we have to know that as leaders, as teachers, as some of you who claim to be prophets, as prophets. If you do not, you are not a leader or teacher or a prophet of the Most High Yah. We are not that. We have to shift and we got to change. All right, you all, let's go ahead and go to, I'm going to jump from Deuteronomy 18 to Deuteronomy 13. You all go there on your own. Deuteronomy 18, 20 through 22, right? Speaking presumptuously in the Most High's name. I'm not going to be redundant right now. Write that down. Deuteronomy 18, 20 through 22. Most of you all know that. We know scriptures like the back of our mind, back on the back of our hand, back of our mind, but we're not operating within it. So I need to go to some more examples. Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5. Even when the sign comes to pass, there is still something that signifies if this individual is a prophet of the Most High. And that is if they are causing the people who they're teaching and saying that the Most High told them, even if a sign happens, because that's testing the listeners right there too. It's testing the prophet and it's testing the listeners, because sometimes something still will happen. The Supreme King might allow it to happen to see if you have been paying attention to his word. And that is, if that prophet does that and it does come to pass, but they are pulling you away from thus says the Most High, the commandments, then they're not that. So that's Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5. Let's go ahead and go to 1 Samuel 3, 1 through 10. This is one of the most powerful scriptures, in my opinion, and examples, in my opinion, that we should really be looking at. We should really be looking at it today, because we have become so arrogant. I say this all the time. I believe today we are more arrogant than we were back then for many reasons. I'm not going to go through the reason right now. I just want to get to this. Here we go. 10 verses. Now the boy Shemuel was attending the service of the Supreme King Yah before Eli. So that means he was under somebody. He was building and growing and learning from someone. Today, we don't believe we need to. And even those of us that do believe we need to, we're only doing it when we're coming into Shabbat or the Moedim. When we go home and we leave that person, now we're scoffers among that. Or scoffers among that leader or that teacher. And putting bugs in the ears of other people, right? Dropping seeds. So we're not operating in the righteous culture and the customs that we had. But this is the greatest example that I can pull out, one of them. The boy Shemuel was attending to the service of the Supreme King before Eli, the priest. And the word from the Supreme King was rare in those days. But we believe that today, with all the distractions that we have, TV, movies, clubs, so many people around us that don't have the same beliefs as us, right? We're not even around anybody and building covenants with people that can hold us accountable outside of Shabbat, outside of Moedim, appointed times or feast days. We're living our life how we want to. And we believe that the word of the Most High, it says that the word of the Supreme King was rare in those days, meaning spoken, meaning prophets coming along and talking to people. But we think today that we are all over the place. We think that the Most High is talking to every last one of us. Everybody said, a lot of people say this. But watch this. And the Most High, and the word from the Most High was rare in those days. Visions were infrequent, but a lot of people got dreams today. A lot of people got dreams today. A lot of people say the Most High is saying something to me today, but they didn't have as many distractions as we have today. From what we know. I'm sure they had distractions, people. But I don't believe it was like today. Watch this. But it happened at the same time as Eli was lying down in his place. Now his eyesight had begun to be poor, and he would not see well. Shout out to Ezra. And the lamp of Elohim had not yet gone out, and Shemuel was lying down in the temple of the Supreme King where the ark of Elohim was, that the supreme king called Shemuel, and he said, here I am. So Samuel said, here I am. The Most High called out to him. Then he ran to Eli and said, here I am, for you called me. But he said, I did not call. Go back and lie down. So he went and laid down. So here you got Shemuel, the Most High's calling him. Most High's talking to him. But he don't know the Most High's voice. He thinking it's somebody else speaking. Samuel is going to Eli, thinking that Eli is calling him, but today we all think the Most High talking to us. Most High told me, the Spirit told me, we could come into the truth in 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. And you got to be led with the Spirit. The Spirit got to be leading you. The Most High talking to us. We only been in it for a couple months, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I got to be fair and balanced. Even if you're in it for 5 years, it does not mean you won't surpass somebody that's been in it for 20 or 30. But that's rare. But we do that. He did not know, he didn't even know the Most High's voice. But everybody, or most people today, we think that we hear the Most High. We think that we hear the Spirit. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people leaving me while I'm speaking right now. But something has to be said and something has to be changed, because most ways that the Most High is speaking to us, or Spirit is being moved within us, is due to how we're moving and our obedience, our sincerity, our approach to the people. All of these things matter. So he went down and laid down, and the Most High called yet again, Shemuel, Samuel. So Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, here I am, for you called me. But he said, I did not call my son. Go back and lie down. Look at that. He calling him his son, y'all. Cultural understanding. We know the priest Eli was not his father, but he was a spiritual father to him. Let's keep going. 7 says, now Samuel did not yet know the supreme king, nor had the word of the Most High yet been revealed to him. Wait a minute. He has been working and learning under Eli for some time now. How is it possible that he don't know him? He did not yet know him, but we believe that we know just from reading. We believe that we know, and we have no foundation. We're coming as so-called black people, anybody else who read the Bible, from where we came from, and all of a sudden we know we are being revealed a whole bunch of things, and we're spoken to again. There are exceptions to the rule. It can probably happen to some people, but not all. And when I say some, I'm talking about very small, because we don't see this consistently being played out in our historical records. Well, thus says the Most High. But we do see that this is an example of today. How is the Most High and the Spirit dealing with us off the bat so quickly? Even in other literature, it says it will bring a remembrance. How can you remember if you have never been taught? How can you remember if you have not went through the stages of growing? Even when you're about to graduate from grammar school, middle school, there are years behind it. Even when you graduate high school, there are years behind it. College, there are years behind it. And if you're going to be get your master's, your bachelor's, there are years behind it. A doctorate, there are years behind it. But we think it's different in the spiritual realm when that's supposed to be greater. We think that the Spirit just deals with you like this, but your life, how you think, how quick you're triggered with, like, it's so many variables to this. This is why I believe our community, even as so-called black people or Bnei Yisrael, conscious ones, we are warped. We say what sounds good. Shalom, Mark. Got to be led by the Spirit. But your life has no evidence of being led by the Spirit. The Most High said to me, the Most High was talking to me the other day, and he told me to do this. The Most High was talking to me the other day, and he told me to do this, but your life has no evidence of showing any consistency. But Shemuel, one of the greatest prophets ever, was clearly being groomed and walking under Eli. And it said, now Shemuel did not yet know the supreme king, nor had the word of the Most High yet been revealed to him, right? So the Most High, let's keep reading. We got 2 more verses in this chapter. So the Most High called Shemuel again for the 3rd time, and he got up and went to Eli and said, here I am, for you called me. Then Eli realized that the Most High was calling the boy. See, sometimes you have somebody that's there, that's helping to build you up, may see something in you, but you got to be willing to learn and grow and take heed to some of the things that these individuals that may be sent to groom you in a righteous way, in order for them to be able to realize, hey, the Most High is dealing with this boy right here. Most High is dealing with this young lady right here, young woman, girl right here. But we're moving along. So how can we see it? How can we go through these challenges and these different stages that we're supposed to be in to get to where we're saying that we're at? There are stages. There are levels. Some of you all are gamers out there. At each level, there is something present that you got to get past. And a lot of times you need people to help you get past it. Just like Shemuel did. It says, and Eli said to Shemuel, go lie down, and it shall be, if he calls you, that you shall say, speak, O Most High, for your servant is listening. So Shemuel went and lay down in his place. Even he says, your servant. Shabbat shalom, 𝐤𝐄𝐄. I don't know if you're still here. I didn't even see that pop up. Shabbat shalom. He was called a servant. A lot of us call ourselves servants of the Most High because Bnei Yisrael is a servant of the Most High. No, the nation is supposed to be a servant, but individually, that does not mean we're servants. The nation, by definition or by expectation, is a servant of the Most High, but not everyone individually. A servant is someone that does what's told to them, that's sincere in doing it, they're faithful in doing it. They have a certain desire towards being who they are, a servant. Let's keep going. Last verse. Then the supreme king came and stood and called as at the other time, Shemuel, Shemuel, and Shemuel said, speak, for your servant is listening. We're going to stop right there. So in the chapter before, let me see. I believe it's a chapter before. It also talked about something. I brought this out a little while before, that it said that that Shemuel gained favor before the people and the Most High. This is something important. I speak on it often. I'm not going to speak on it today. All right, you all, let's go to 1 Kings 22. 1 Kings 22. So for those of us that say that the Spirit or the Most High is speaking to me, the Most High told me, the Spirit told me, I'm not against it if it's true. But we should have a little reservation in doing that, especially if our lives is not in alignment, y'all. If we are, let's keep going. It says, however, Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, please request the word of the supreme king first. So the king of Israel assembled the prophets, about 400 men. This is very important, you all. 400 prophets, and said to them, should I go to battle against Ramoth-Gilead, or should I refrain? And they said, go up, for the supreme king will hand it over to the king. The Most High will hand it over to the king. 400 prophets, self-proclaimed prophets. Some of them may have been prophets. A lot of them, I'm sure, were self-proclaimed, or put in that office to be that. Y'all, we got to be careful, man. Be careful with saying what God or Yah told you or the Most High told you. Be careful with saying the Spirit told me. It has become a loose catchphrase in our community. And all most of us got to do is look at your life. And then you will be labeled as a liar, a false prophet. But many of us won't say that. Many of us won't think that. Or we may think that. Many of us are those individuals, and you got to change that. Let's keep going. But Jehoshaphat said, is there no longer a prophet of the Supreme King here that we may inquire of him? Look, this is what we should be saying today. So many people that says, well, the Most High told me, the Spirit told me. And we just listen to when they say that. Some of us are afraid to say something, and that's okay. Maybe in the back of your head, you're like, okay, well, hey, I know your life, so I know the Most High is not saying anything. But it has become heavy in our community. Heavy. And we're supposed to be Bnei Yisrael, though. We're supposed to be a little further than others when it comes to the scriptures. Respectfully and humbly, I say that because we're supposed to be a light and show them what it actually is supposed to be according to the literature. But we do it even amongst ourselves. We're so quick to say that. Even when we know we're not living a life. Even when we know we have a lot of growing to do in areas. I'm not talking about learning everything. I'm talking about just the basics. He said, is there no longer a prophet of the Supreme King here that we may inquire of him? Wait, so why they not talking directly to the Most High? Why they not just going to the Most High themselves? I'm not telling you all not to pray. I'm not telling you all not to do that. But again, this is the arrogance I believe that we have today. I believe we have a level of that. Why aren't they going to the Most High themselves? There's a reason behind that. He said, is there no longer a prophet of the Supreme King here that we may inquire? So how do you inquire of the Most High? How do you inquire of him? It says, and the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, there is still one man by whom we may inquire of the Supreme King. Oh, I don't need to go to nobody. I don't need to ask nobody for nothing. I'm just going to go to Spirit. The Spirit is going to deal with me. The Spirit is going to teach me. The Spirit is going to do all that. Yeah, the Spirit can, and the Spirit does. But 9 times out of 10, the Spirit is not moving within most of us that say that because our lives is not in alignment with it. Our lives is not in alignment with it. Most of us. And most of us say the Spirit told me, the Most High told me. But yet these individuals are trying to inquire of a man and or a woman, we see that too, that can bring the word to them. And it's a reason why they're doing that. I'm not going to get into that today. He says, there is one man whom we may inquire of the Supreme King, but I hate him. Why? Why do you hate him? Because he does not prophesy anything good regarding me. That's how we are today. Even those of us who are conscious Israelites. That's how we are today. Because he does not prophesy anything good regarding me, but only bad. He is Micaiah, the son of 𝐤𝐄𝐄. But Jehoshaphat said, may the king not say so. Then the king of Israel summoned an officer and said, bring Micaiah, son of 𝐤𝐄𝐄, quickly. Now the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Yehuda, were sitting, each one on his throne, dressed in their robes at the threshing floor at the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets were prophesying before him. Then Zedekiah, the son of Kenaanah, came horns of iron for himself and said, this is what the Supreme King says. With these you will gore the Arameans until they are destroyed. All the prophets were prophesying this as well, saying, go up, Ramoth Gilead, and succeed, for the Supreme King will hand it over to the king. This is happening in our community on a large scale, even those that bring bad news. That sounds crazy. I said, just because somebody bringing bad news doesn't mean they're a true prophet. But most people today aren't bringing bad news, or what we call bad news, because bad news is actually good news a lot of times. It's supposed to help us, correct us, change us, cause us to provoke thought and change so that we can be more in alignment with the Supreme King God. That's what it is. Then the messenger who went to summon Micaiah spoke to him, saying, behold, now the words of the prophets are unanimously favorable to the king. Please let your word be like the word of one of them and speak favorably. But Micaiah said, as the Supreme King lives, whatever the Supreme King says to me, I shall speak it. When he came to the king said to him, Micaiah, should we go to battle against Ramoth-Gilead, or should we refrain? And he said, go up and succeed, for the Supreme King will hand it over to the king. Then the king said to him, how many times must I make you swear that you will tell me nothing but the truth in the name of the Supreme King? So he said, I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains like sheep that have no shepherd. And the Supreme King said, these people have no master. Each of them is to return to his house in peace. Then the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, did I not tell you that he would not prophesy anything good regarding him, but only bad? So this is crazy, because think about it. He's called him up there to get some advice, get a suggestion. Which way should they go? But he didn't want to hear it. He wanted to hear what the prophets were saying before. But yet he said, no, I want you to tell me the truth. But then when he said this, the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat these things. And Micaiah said, therefore, hear the word of the Supreme King. I saw the Most High, watch this, sitting on his throne, and all the angels of Malachim of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Supreme King said, who will entice Ahab to go up and fall at Ramoth-Gilead? And one spirit said this, while another said that. So they're talking amongst the Most High. This is interesting, right? Why don't we talk about this often? I haven't saw many teachers and leaders bring this part out. I saw a couple. But isn't this interesting? The spirits that was amongst the Most High, he's saying to them, who will go entice them? Who will entice Ahab? Go up and fall at Ramoth-Gilead. And then you have another angel, people call it, a Malachim or Malach, said, I will go. Then the Most High, then the Spirit came forward and stood before him to the Most High and said, I will entice him. And the Most High said to him, how? And he said, I will go out and be a deceiving spirit in his mouth, or in the mouths of all his prophets. Then he said, you shall entice him, and you will also prevail. Go and do so. So the Most High is telling him to do this. We don't talk about this. An enticing, a lying spirit. So what spirit is talking to y'all? What spirit? The Spirit told me. What spirit is talking to you? Especially if your life is not in alignment of obedience, sincerity, and faithfulness to the Most High. What spirit is talking to you? What created Most High is talking to you? Or better yet, maybe the Most High. The Most High may be talking to you through a lying spirit. The Most High may be talking to you through a lying spirit. Be careful. Be careful. Change your life. Now then, behold, the Supreme King has put a deceiving spirit in the mouth of all these prophets of yours, and the Supreme King has declared disaster against you. All right. Somebody had brought this to my attention too, you all. Like when we looking at Genesis 1, Better Sheet 1 and 2. It kind of paints a picture, you know, even with Job and Job. You see what's happening in Job. Now we see in 1 Kings 22 what's happening, how he was talking to the Malachim, and they were coming up with ideas of what can be done. And this king, this supreme king, listening to them and said, okay, how would you do it? And then they said, hey, I will be this, a lying spirit. Okay, and that you shall be then. Wasn't that a dynamic scene right there? Now, take that and look at Bereshit chapter 1 and 2. That was interesting. I actually was brought to me a while ago. I didn't come up with that. But 1 Kings 22, it just paints that picture broadly. It's amazing. Let's go to, we got a couple more places. Let's go to Jeremiah 17, 5 verses. Jeremiah 17, 5 verses. And it says, this is what the Supreme King says. Cursed is the man who trusts in mankind and makes flesh his strength. Don't this sound, this is so interesting. The Most High is using prophets. The Most High has used other men in old times and women, some who weren't prophets. But then this prophet Jeremiah is saying, cursed is the man who trusts in mankind. Is this saying one man? Mankind is a lot of people. We got to learn how to look at the scripture and understand the subject. Is the subject broad or is it directly talking about everyone? Cursed is the man who trusts in mankind. I don't trust in mankind, but I do trust righteous men and women who are truly that. Because the Most High is dealing with them. It's the difference in trusting in everyone versus trusting in who the Most High has actually sent. Very big difference. And makes flesh his strength. No, the Most High is our strength. And he sends men or man and or woman to be a strength for us. But the credit and the glory goes to the Supreme King Yah. And trusting in those that you have made a covenant with who are truly righteous. It is nothing wrong with that. That is not what Jeremiah is saying right there. And whose heart turns away from the Supreme King. So it's not talking about, what about the men and or women whose heart and mind has not turned away from the Supreme King? Is that what Jeremiah is saying? Is Jeremiah saying, this is what the Supreme King says, cursed is the man who trusts in mankind, so trust in everybody, right? And makes flesh his strength, who relies on only man over the Most High, and whose heart turns away from the Supreme King, right? Cursed is that man. What about the men who, or women who didn't turn their heart away from the Most High? It's not telling you that. But let's keep going. For he will be like a bush in the desert and will not see when prosperity comes, but will live in stony wastes in the wilderness, a land of salt that is not inhabited. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Supreme King and whose trust is the Supreme King, right? So what about when the Most High sends somebody? Do you have a level of trust in that person? Right? When the king sends a servant, and the servant is supposed to walk in the authority of that king. Do you trust only the king at that point, or do you trust who he sent? It's a dynamic that we're missing. When we're reading these scriptures and we're doing soundbite scriptures, it's a dynamic, cultural dynamic, a righteous cultural dynamic that we're missing. For he will be like a tree planted by the water that extends its roots by a stream and does not fear when the heat comes, but its leaves will be green, and it will not be anxious in the year of drought, nor cease to yield fruit. The heart is more deceitful than all else, right? And is desperately sick. Who can understand it? This is the part I always go to. The heart is deceitful above all things. Who could understand it? It's desperately sick. The heart is synonymous with the mind. And everyone's mind was not this. A lot of times when prophets are speaking, they're speaking from a corporate standpoint. You got to pay attention to how sometimes their prayers, sometimes when they're talking about leadership, or sometimes when they're talking about the whole body that people call it. Everyone's heart or mind was not deceitful. There are some people in our history that was called perfect, and a whole heart, a whole mind served the Most High. So this is not talking about everyone. Jeremiah was talking about a specific people in a specific time. This is not everyone. This has messed up our community, in my opinion, on a large scale when it comes to doctrine. We do a lot of soundbite doctrine and teaching out there that cause a lot of people to not know which direction to go in, what to believe. It has harmed a lot of hearts, homes, people within our community. And this is why that wall or that fence needs to be around your assembly, around the Torah, around your assembly, who you're shepherding, around your family. If you're not a part of assembly, it's important to do that. So so everybody within it can't become sick. You bring somebody that's sick in there, it creates more sickness and more people being sick. So why are we accepting any and everybody to come to an assembly? Why are we worried about numbers? Why are people are becoming hurt in the assembly because we're allowing people that shouldn't be there to be a part of it? Well, we're supposed to accept everybody. No, we don't. That's Christianity. Christianity has seeped into the Hebrew community, without a doubt. Well, that's not love. Yes, it is. Talk to the Most High and tell the Most High that wasn't love, removing people from the assembly and the congregation. Was that love? Well, you're not the Most High. He said, be ye set apart as I am set apart. That's what he said. You're not the Most High. He said, be ye set apart as I am. So that righteousness can stay and wickedness can go. I, the Supreme King, search the heart. I test the mind to give to each person according to his ways, according to the results of his deeds. So that means if it's someone that's righteous, blameless, sinless, perfect, upright, virtuous, then they're going to get the other side of the coin. I search the heart. So there are bad hearts and thought processes, and there are good hearts and thought processes. All right, we are coming to a close. We only have 1, 2, 3, few more verses to go to, y'all. I want you all to take down Psalms 78, Psalm 78, 35 to 37. We won't go through that today. Take down Psalms 101 and 4. And Proverbs 14 and 12, right? A way can seem right to a person. Proverbs 3, one of the most famous scriptures in the Christian community and the Israelite community, is so consistent in our communities, right? Let's go to it real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Proverbs 3. Trust in the Most High with all your heart, all your mind, right? And do not lean on your own understanding. How does that work? This is Slow-Mo talking to his son. These are the commandments I gave you, my commandments, my laws, my instruction. Then you go down to verse 5. That's how you don't trust in your own understanding. When you're by yourself, it's hard to not do that. You have nothing to hold you accountable. You have nobody to be there and kind of instruct you. None of that. So when you don't have that, that's when you're trusting in your own heart, leaning on your own understanding. All right. And we're going to close out with this. Ecclesiastes 5, 1 through 2. And that's going to close us out, you all. Wow. Can't spell. Ecclesiastes 5. Oh, I didn't spell it right again. Goodness gracious. All right. So guard your steps as you go to the house of Elohim, and approach to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools. For they do not know that they are doing evil. It is evil to say that the Most High said to me, and he didn't. It is evil to say that the Spirit said to me, Akot, sister, brother, and it didn't, unless it's a lying spirit. And eventually you will get that lying spirit if you continue to do opposite. Approach to listen rather than offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. Do not be quick with your mouth or impulsive in thought to bring up a matter in the presence of Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven and you are on the earth. Therefore, let your words be few. And with that, you all, I yield. Be careful. Is the Most High really telling you that? Some of you are going to listen to what I'm saying. Most of you are not going to listen to what I'm saying. But with that, I pray that something I said provokes thought and change. And may the Most High bless and guard you all in righteousness and put people or someone before you that will help you understand how to move. Shalom, shalom.
In need of a healing, 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 healing. The broken come before you, Most High Creator. In need of a breakthrough from what this world has drug us through. And many just don't know how to go about it. Many don't know where to start. But sincerely we ask you to heal our hearts.
Asking for your healing, please. Life is turning often like a ceiling fan, really fast. Most I want you slow it down. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. She's gonna show it now. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. Asking for your healing, please. Asking for your healing, please. Life is turning often like a ceiling fan, really fast. Most I want you slow it down. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. She's gonna show it now. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. A couple decades up in it, I tried to do right, but found myself repeating, not repenting. I didn't choose right. I look back on my younger years, there was no sign of the fear, and I had the nerve to say that you're my king. It was a mistake. How could I say that but didn't serve you? Every chance I got, I would desert you, but I am not the same. It's all for you. Was the best decision made, and it started off from asking for your healing, please. Asking for your healing, please. Life is turning often like a ceiling fan, turning like a fan. Most I want you slow it down. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. Actions gonna slow it down. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. Asking for your healing, please. Asking for your healing, please.
Life is turning
often like a ceiling fan, really fast. Most I want you slow it down. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. Actions gonna show it now. I'm humbled facing towards the ground. To our King, we'll be humble.